Today we're going to look at some of my favourite stretches to do at the bar. So you'll want to find a bar, countertop or chair that is roughly waist height, and we're going to begin with both hands on the bar, feet in first position. Begin with the right arm sweeping up and over to fifth position as you bend to the side before curling forwards. Let's repeat with the left arm, lengthening through the spine and stretching the upper back as you curl forwards. Let's repeat this once more, but this time we're going to go backwards into a combré en arrière and repeating with the left arm. This is a great stretch to slowly wake up the spine and get the shoulders moving. We're now going to do a circle with the upper body. So leading with the head, let the shoulders follow you as you go from the side to the back and forwards, and then repeating, going the other way. Pivot the legs into parallel fourth, sweep the arm back so we have a rotation going through the spine, and then fold forwards for a hamstring stretch. Make sure both feet are truly parallel. Always go very gently on the hamstrings, so don't force this one. Now sliding down into a lunge stretch, check your alignment and make sure that your knee is directly over your heel. Drop the hips down to the floor and try and sit with a tall back. You might want to put something under your knee if it's uncomfortable. Standing up, and let's repeat everything to the other side, starting with our twist in parallel fourth before folding forwards gently for our hamstring stretch. Check that the hips are square and that you're relaxing the neck. And now slide into your lunge. This is a great stretch for the hip flexors. Standing back up, feet together in parallel, and we're going to push back into a calf stretch. Keep the hips lifted and press down into the back heel. If you want more of a stretch, you can tuck the pelvis slightly. And swap over. Now into our quad stretch. So with one hand to support you on the bar, use the other hand to hold onto your foot, bring your knees together and tuck the pelvis for a deep stretch along the quadriceps. And now swap over to the other leg for our quadricep stretch. Holding onto the bar, take a step away and pull back so that we're lengthening the spine. You can move the hips from one side to the other, and this is a really great way to just warm up the body, stretch out the spine, the hips and the backs of the legs. Now for a glute stretch, we're going to place our leg on the bar. So pick a height that's comfortable for you, and the leg is going to be in a sort of attitude devant. So we've got the knee open, and then if you can, fold forwards for a deeper stretch. This stretch might not be appropriate for everybody, so if you'd rather, you can do a glute stretch lying on the floor. And swap over to the other leg. Now let's place one leg on the bar, check that your hips are square and the leg is rotated, and we're going to do a side stretch towards our foot, bringing the opposite arm into fifth position. Straighten back up, and now we're going to stretch away from the foot. Keep checking that your hips are square. Fondu. Now pivot your body, so that you're facing your leg, and slowly fold forwards until you feel a stretch. Again, don't force this stretch, and you may want to play around with which height of bar suits you best. If you can, we're now going to pivot into an arabesque, holding onto the bar with one hand and then folding forwards. Personally, I find this to be the hardest stretch, so like I said before, you may want to find a different chair or countertop to place your leg on so that it suits your level of flexibility. Now lifting the leg up as we pitch forwards into a nice penché stretch. Using the strength of your back, we're going to lift up tall and now pivot round with the leg à la seconde before we lift it off the bar and place it down. We're now going to shoulder the leg. So if you're not familiar with this, you'll want to hold onto your foot, and you can do this either by holding onto your heel, or if you're more flexible, wrap the hand around so you're holding onto your toes. Extend the leg in front of you and slowly stretch your supporting leg as you carry your working leg to the side. Check that the hips are square, that you're lengthening through the spine, and there shouldn't be any tension in the shoulders or neck. Once this stretch eases up, you can tilt forwards and backwards just to create a bit more space in the hips and back. Release the leg, bring it behind you, and hold onto your thigh or knee, pulling forwards into an attitude arabesque penché stretch. This is one of my favourite stretches for working on my arabesques and things like grand jetés. Now let's repeat all of these stretches on the other leg. So starting by our side stretch towards our foot. Straighten up, and our side stretch away from our foot. We shouldn't be holding any tension in the body as we hold these stretches. Instead, we should try to relax into them. Fondu, pivot, and now we're going to fold forwards, keeping your turnout, letting the head drop down, keeping the neck relaxed. Straighten back up. Now pivot into your arabesque. Again, you may want to modify the height of the leg, and we're going to fold forwards. And now lift that leg into our penché stretch. Place the leg back down, and using the strength of the back, lift the upper body back up. We have a little cambrai before we pivot back to à la seconde, a little fondu, and lift that leg off the bar and place it back down. Now shouldering the leg on this side, make sure you're not twisting the supporting knee as you fondu. So we want to keep our turnout, keep the hips square. And once this stretch loosens up, feel free to pitch the body forwards and backwards. And finally, holding onto your knee or thigh, and we're going to pull the leg into a penché in attitude arabesque. Hands down on the floor and extend into a full penché stretch. extend into an arabesque, and that completes today's bar stretch. Thanks for joining, and don't forget to like and subscribe and check out some of my other videos.